I'm Jeff. I love to cook, but I have RP, and I've lost 99% of my vision. I'm blind, but that doesn't stop me. And if I can do it, I'm here to show you that you can too. This is No Lookin Cookin. Hi everybody, I'm Chef Jeff. I have Retinitis Pigmentosa. I've lost 99% of my vision, so I don't use my eyes when I cook. What I'm going to do today, everyone, is show you how to cook without looking. No looking cooking. And to prove that, I'm going to put this bandana on. And being blind, people really kind of discourage you from cooking, and they shouldn't be. They really should be encouraging you. There's a lot of ways to be very safe while you cook. This looks like it's probably not one of them. But I'm going to start with making my meatballs, and let's get started. Here we go. There are thousands of different ways people make meatballs, but I do it a certain way, and I think they really come out great. One of the secrets that I have is regatta instead of eggs, and it adds a lot of flavor and a lot of moisture to the meatballs. And it's actually easier. So you don't have to beat the eggs, it's great. So I have here garlic and parsley. The regatta, I put a little bit of grated cheese and some breadcrumbs. I've got about 1.5 pounds of ground sirloin here, which I use. You can use ground chuck, but ground sirloin is a little bit leaner, and I like to use that. You'll notice that I use my hands a lot. I will use a spoon on occasion, but I will wash my hands quite a bit to keep things clean. So anyway, I got some garlic. I'm going to put, I'm going to put about a teaspoon of chopped garlic into the meat. Then I'm going to take some parsley, and I've got about a good handful of chopped parsley I'm going to put in. And then I have the regatta. Now that I'm going to use a spoon for. And I've got probably about 3/4 cup of regatta that I'm putting in. You'll really like it. It's a great secret. Now I've got a little grated cheese that I'm going to put in. Probably a couple tablespoons of grated Parmesan. And I've got about 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs here that I'm putting in. They are seasoned. You could use plain breadcrumbs. As far as measurements, I'm not a big measurer for cooking. It's not as critical as it is when you're baking, so I kind of judge it just by feel. Now I'm going to mix this with my hands. One of the things I do is, instead of frying meatballs on the top of the stove, I bake them in the oven at 375 for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then put them in my sauce. After about 2 or 3 minutes, I can feel everything's combined well. Everyone, now what I'm going to do is preheat the oven. I'm really familiar with this oven, so I know where all the buttons are. What I have here is a pan with some non-stick tin foil. I always buy Reynolds wrap. It is really helpful when you're doing something like this. You know, take a long strip that you know it's going to cover, and then you tuck it into the sides. A lot of foods that you're worried about sticking, it's a great thing to use. One of the things I also do is take a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to just spread that around, and that'll be kind of double insurance so the meatballs don't stick. I'm spreading the olive oil with a paper towel. Next, I'm going to roll the meatballs. I just dampen my hands by running them under water. Now, when you make meatballs, you'll notice that when your hands are damp, it's much easier to make the meatballs. Make your meatballs as big or as small as you'd like. You know, this is about the size I think is great. You know, 2-3 bites. About the size of a tennis ball. You can make them a little bigger. You could always make them a little smaller. I like mine about 2 inches in diameter, whatever you're comfortable with. But if it's bigger, it'll take longer to cook. Line them up. I'm making kind of a medium batch, I would say. I use fresh ingredients on everything. You could always use dried parsley. I mean, you could use that, but it really is much better if you use fresh ingredients. I don't know, my meatballs are getting bigger. They're growing right before me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 meatballs. And I'm going to have 9 meatballs. These are good sized meatballs, so a couple would make a nice sandwich with some provolone cheese and a nice fresh roll with some roasted peppers. Alright, stop drooling out there. Okay. So, now that the oven's preheated to 375, I'm going to take the tray and put the meatballs in the oven. And on my iPhone, set my timer for 20 minutes. Siri, set my timer for 20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes and counting.
I'm waiting for the meatballs. Everyone, this is a much easier way of doing meatballs than frying them in a pan. Less messy. When you're done, you can just wrap up that tin foil and throw it out. I typically use an oven glove. It'll prevent you from burning yourself. The oven glove's a great tool for anything hot because you still have the ability to use your fingers. And I'm going to be putting those in the sauce that we're going to be making in our next video. I don't know how they look, but they smell good. Oven's off. Another good use of the oven glove is to cool your meatballs. Now I take tongs and I'm going to take the meatballs off the tray and I'm going to show you why it's so nice to do them on a tray opposed to frying them, because I'll take these meatballs off. As soon as it cools, I will wrap up the tin foil and dispose of it. Until my sauce is ready, I'm going to take my meatballs and put them on a platter. Notice how easily they come off the non-stick tin foil. One of the things I do is make sure my hands are very clean all the time, especially when you're handling meat. I broke one, but that's okay. I usually break one so I can taste it anyway. So what I do is I curl up all the different sides here of the tin foil. And because there is a little bit of grease in there. A lot less than if you use chuck. That's why I use ground sirloin. It's a lot less fat. And now I just throw this out and I have a clean tray. Beautiful. This is how you cook No Lookin Meatballs. In another video, I'm going to show you how to make my spaghetti sauce. Siri, how much time left on my timer?
Here's the timer.
Siri, I can't see.
You can adjust many of the vision settings.
Just give me kind of a hint, Siri. If you like this video, please hit the like button and the subscribe button too. And if you have any questions about my videos, recipes, or even about me, you can leave a comment below or reach out to me on any of my social channels. I'd love to hear from you. Links are in the description. Thanks for your support.